The rain hammered against the grimy window of the Greyhound bus as it rattled into the Port Authority terminal, each drop like a fist pounding on Alex's chest. He clutched the crumpled letter from his father in his fist. The words, "You're no son of mine," burned into his brain, a final expulsion from the only home he'd ever known. But as the bus doors hissed open and the neon lights of New York City swallowed him whole, Alex whispered to himself, "This ends now," unaware that the city's pulse would soon demand he rewrite his entire bloodline. Alex stepped off the bus into the chaotic symphony of Manhattan's underbelly, the air thick with exhaust and the distant wail of sirens. At 22, he was a lanky kid from rural Ohio with a backpack stuffed with 2 changes of clothes, a laptop on its last legs, and a heart fractured like cheap glass. His father's voice echoed in his mind, harsh, unyielding, the same voice that had preached fire and brimstone every Sunday at the local Baptist church. "Faggot," he'd spat that final night, after finding the photo on Alex's phone. Him and Jamie, tangled in a forbidden kiss behind the high school bleachers. Jamie, the boy who'd made Alex feel seen for the first time, gone in a haze of tears and slammed doors. Now, both were ghosts, propelling him eastward. He'd scraped together bus fare from odd jobs, mowing lawns for bigots who tipped in loose change, and sold his beat-up guitar at a pawnshop that smelled like regret. New York wasn't a choice, it was survival. The city that never slept seemed the perfect place to bury his old self. As he navigated the throng of late-night commuters, dodging a street vendor hawking knockoff watches, Alex felt the weight of invisibility settle over him like a second skin. No one here knew his shame. No one cared. His first night was spent on a bench in Washington Square Park, the autumn chill seeping through his thin jacket. By dawn, he'd charmed his way into a hostel bunk with a story about a lost wallet and a fake internship. Lies came easy now. Truth had cost him everything. That first week blurred into a grind. Barista shifts at a dingy coffee shop in the village, where drag queens sipped lattes and shared tips on dodging creeps. "Honey, own your sparkle," one named Ruby told him, her sequined lashes batting like butterfly wings. Alex forced a smile, but inside, he was a storm cloud, raining doubt on every interaction. It was there, amid the hiss of espresso machines, that he met Lena. She was a force, tall, with cropped black hair and tattoos snaking up her arms like vines claiming a forgotten wall. A lesbian activist who'd fled a conservative family in Texas, Lena spotted Alex's haunted eyes from across the counter. "You look like you need more than caffeine," she said, sliding him a muffin on the house. Their friendship ignited like dry tinder. Late-night walks through the East Village, trading stories of rejection under the glow of bodega signs. Lena's laugh was a lifeline, pulling him from the depths. "You're queer as hell, kid," she teased one night, as they shared a falafel on a stoop. "But you've got that quiet fire. Use it." Alex nodded, but the fire felt more like embers, smothered by memories of his mother's silence, her averted eyes as his father raged. She'd whispered, "I'm sorry," once, then nothing. He wondered if she'd even noticed he was gone. Months turned into a fragile routine. Alex upgraded to a shoebox apartment in Brooklyn, subletting from a theater kid who toured constantly. He enrolled in community college, studying graphic design by day, pouring his isolation into sketches of fractured figures, men with shadows for lovers, women breaking chains. Lena dragged him to his first Pride event, a riot of rainbows and bass-thumping floats down Fifth Avenue. He stood on the sidelines at first, arms crossed, but when a group of trans elders handed him a flag, something cracked open. For the first time, he marched, chest tight with a mix of terror and triumph. That's where he saw Marcus, tall, broad-shouldered, with skin like polished mahogany and a smile that cut through the crowd like sunlight. Marcus was volunteering with a youth outreach booth, his voice steady as he counseled scared teens on coming out. Alex lingered, pretending to browse pamphlets, until Marcus caught his eye. "First time?" he asked, voice warm as summer asphalt. Alex stammered a yes, and just like that, coffee turned to dinners to stolen hours in Marcus's Harlem brownstone. Marcus was everything Alex wasn't, out and proud since 16, a social worker with a master's in psychology and a network of friends who embraced him like family. He saw the scars in Alex's silences, the way he'd flinch at raised voices. "You're not broken, Alex," he'd murmured during quiet nights on the fire escape, stars winking above the skyline. "You're just starting." Their love unfolded slowly, tenderly, a brush of hands in the park, a shared umbrella against sudden downpours. Marcus taught him vulnerability, how to voice the ache without apology. But shadows lingered. Alex's father sent one postcard, months after the disowning, a Bible verse on judgment, no return address. It arrived like a grenade, shattering his fragile peace. He burned it in the sink, watching flames lick the edges, but the smoke clung to his clothes for days. Lena noticed, pulling him aside after a shift. "You can't outrun it forever. Talk to me." So he did, words tumbling out like confessions, the beatings disguised as discipline, the church whispers that branded him unclean. Lena hugged him fierce, her own stories of a brother who'd chosen faith over blood mirroring his pain. As winter gripped the city in ice, Alex's designs caught an agent's eye, a queer-owned gallery in Chelsea. His exhibit, Exiled Echoes, opened to murmurs of praise, abstract portraits of disowned souls, rendered in bold strokes of crimson and indigo. Marcus beamed from the front row, Lena whooping as critics scribbled notes. For a night, Alex felt whole, the room's warmth chasing away the cold knot in his gut. Yet doubt festered. Late one evening, scrolling through ancestry sites for a school project, Alex hesitated over the DNA test kit. Curiosity or masochism? He spat into the tube anyway, mailing it off with a shrug. "What's the worst it could say?" he joked to Marcus, who squeezed his hand. "That you're related to Beyoncé." Laughter, but it rang hollow. Spring bloomed with cherry blossoms along the Hudson, and Alex's life seemed stitched together at last. He and Marcus moved in together, a cozy walk-up with exposed brick and plants Lena swore would thrive. Their mornings were rituals, coffee brewed strong, playlists of indie folk filling the air. Alex sketched while Marcus prepped for work, their worlds overlapping in quiet harmony. Friends gathered for game nights. Lena with her girlfriend Sophia, a fiery Latina poet. Jamal, Marcus's best friend, a non-binary artist with a wicked sense of humor. It was a chosen family, pieced from fragments, stronger for the cracks. But fractures appeared subtly. Alex's sketches grew darker, figures with blurred faces, as if erasing identities. Marcus noticed, gently probing over dinner. Is it the past creeping in? Alex deflected with a kiss, but sleep evaded him, dreams replaying his father's fury. One night, he woke gasping, convinced he heard pounding at the door, his father's ghost, come to drag him back. The email arrived on a Tuesday, innocuous in his inbox amid bills and spam. "Your DNA results are ready." Heart slamming, Alex clicked, the screen loading like a verdict. Percentages scrolled, Irish roots, a splash of Italian. Then, the matches, distant cousins, a third cousin in Ohio. His stomach twisted. Among them, a close relative, 99.9% sibling probability. The name, Rebecca Harlan. Harlan? His father's name was Harlan. But Rebecca? He knew no Rebecca. Fingers trembling, he searched her profile. A woman in her 40s, smiling with 2 kids at a backyard barbecue. Ohio address, same county. Panic clawed up his throat. He dialed Lena, voice breaking. "It's not just bad. It's impossible." She arrived within the hour, Sophia in tow, bearing takeout and tissues. They poured over the data, Lena's brow furrowed. "Call her. Or don't. But ignoring it won't make it vanish." Marcus, home late from a crisis call, wrapped Alex in his arms as sobs racked him. "Whatever this is, we'll face it." But Alex pulled away, eyes wild. "What if it's proof I'm wrong? That I was never his to lose?" Marcus's face crumpled, the first crack in their armor. "You're mine, Alex. That's truth enough." Days blurred into avoidance. Alex buried himself in work, deadlines piling like accusations. The gallery commissioned more pieces, but inspiration fled, leaving blank canvases mocking him. Lena staged an intervention over beers at their local dive. "This test isn't a curse. It's a key. Use it." Her words stuck, a thorn under skin. He messaged Rebecca late one night, anonymous at first. "I think we might be related. From a DNA test." Her reply came swift. "Who is this?" "Harlan." The exchange escalated, polite probes, shared hometowns. She was his half-sister, she confessed, from his father's first marriage, divorced young. Dad never talked about you, she wrote. Said he had one kid. A boy. The revelation hit, like vertigo. Not his father's only child. A secret sibling, hidden away. But why? Alex's mind raced. Affairs, abandonments, lies woven into family fabric. He agreed to meet. A coffee shop in Columbus, neutral ground. Marcus insisted on driving him, their silence thick on the interstate. I love you, Marcus said at the state line. Remember that? Alex nodded, throat tight, fearing the truth would unravel them both. Rebecca was waiting, nervous energy crackling. Mid-40s, with their father's jawline but softer eyes. They hugged awkwardly, then dove in, stories of childhoods parallel yet worlds apart. She spoke of a mother lost to cancer, a father who drank too much after. He changed after you were born, she said, stirring her latte. Harder, like he was punishing himself through you. Alex's pulse thundered. Punishing? For what? Rebecca hesitated, glancing away. He never said, but there were letters. From a woman in Cleveland. I found them after Mom died. Sealed, unopened. The drive home was a haze. Alex clutched the envelope she'd given him. Yellowed, addressed to John Harlan, in elegant script. Marcus glanced over, concern etching lines. Open it together? At home, under the harsh kitchen light, they did. The words spilled out. John, I can't keep him. The boy's not yours. But raise him right. For me. Not his father. Biologically, anyway. The woman, Eleanor, Rebecca later confirmed, was a brief affair, a colleague who'd vanished after confessing the pregnancy. John's rage, his bigotry, a mask for guilt, for loving a child not his blood. Alex laughed, bitter and broken. All that hate. For nothing. But the twist deepened. Eleanor was alive, in a nursing home upstate, dementia clouding her days. Rebecca had tracked her years ago, too scared to bridge the gap. Now, with Alex, they planned a visit. Marcus held him through the nightmares that followed. Visions of a mother denying him, a father hating his own lie. The journey north was fraught. Tensions simmered. Marcus's patience frayed as Alex withdrew, sketching furiously instead of talking. I'm losing you to this, he admitted one rainy afternoon. Alex froze, guilt flooding. I'm scared. What if she rejects me too? Marcus pulled him close. Then we rebuild. Again. Eleanor was frail, eyes distant in the sunlit room. At first, blank stares. Then, a flicker, Johnny. Followed by tears. Words fragmented, but truths emerged. Love for John, fear of scandal, the impossible choice to leave her son. Beautiful boy, she whispered, touching Alex's cheek. My beautiful boy. He broke then, holding her hand as sobs shook them both. Rebecca wept silently, the family puzzle clicking into jagged place. Back in the city, the weight lifted, but scars remained. Alex confronted the ghost of his father via letter, unsent. Forgiveness laced with fury. John's reply came weeks later, postmarked shaky. Knew it wasn't mine. Loved you anyway. Sorry. Too late, perhaps, but a thread to mend. Lena's circle expanded to include Rebecca, dinners bridging Midwest reserve with urban edge. Marcus and Alex renewed vows in a quiet ceremony at the park bench of their first night. Rings exchanged, promises whispered. The DNA test, once a bomb, became catalyst. Alex's art exploded, exhibits selling out, themes of reclaimed lineage drawing crowds. Yet climax brewed in subtlety. At a gallery opening, John's shadow appeared, frail, cane in hand, eyes pleading. Alex's heart seized. Rebecca beside him, Marcus's hand in his. Son, John rasped. Not blood, but choice. Alex stepped forward, voice steady. Not son, but maybe. Family. The hug was tentative, raw, prejudices crumbling like old walls. In the aftermath, tensions peaked. Arguments with Marcus over boundaries, Lena's fierce defense clashing with Rebecca's caution. A blowout at a holiday gathering. John's offhand bigotry slipping out, sent Alex reeling, questioning everything. Can we really change? He railed to the empty apartment. The turning point came in crisis. Marcus, exhausted from mediating, confessed his own fear. A hidden diagnosis, early stage something treatable but terrifying. I didn't want to burden you. Alex's world tilted again, But this time, he anchored. We're the burden and the lift. Together. Healing unfolded in layers. Therapy sessions in a sunlit office, group hikes with the found family, John's slow amends over weekly calls. Alex's final exhibit, bloodlines unwritten, wove their stories, twists of fate, love's defying odds. Opening night, the room swelled. John in the corner, Eleanor via video, Rebecca toasting with pride. As snow dusted Central Park, Alex and Marcus walked hand in hand, breaths fogging the air. We made it, Alex said, the city's hum a backdrop to their quiet strength. Twists had bent them, but not broken. In the end, truth wasn't revelation, it was rewrite, one chosen step at a time. The revelation didn't fade like a bad dream. It rooted deeper, tendrils wrapping around every conversation, every glance in the mirror. Alex found himself staring at his reflection in the bodega window one crisp morning, tracing the unfamiliar lines. Were those Eleanor's high cheekbones, or just exhaustion? Marcus bumped his shoulder, handing over a coffee. Penny for your thoughts, or should I say DNA strand? The joke landed soft, a bridge over the chasm that had opened between them since the nursing home visit. They'd promised no secrets, but Marcus's diagnosis lingered like unspoken fog. It was lymphoma, caught early, treatable with chemo that would sideline him for months. I wanted to shield you, he'd admitted that night, voice cracking as they lay tangled in sheets that smelled of lavender detergent. Alex had traced the veins on Marcus's forearm, memorizing the map of him. Shielding means hiding. We're past that. But doubt gnawed. Was his own unraveling making him blind to Marcus's pain? Lena, ever the whirlwind, organized a fuck cancer potluck at her loft in Bushwick, string lights twinkling like defiant stars. Sophia strummed guitar, Jamal mixed mocktails with a flair for drama, and Rebecca arrived bearing a casserole that screamed Midwest comfort. John was invited but declined, citing the drive, though his emails had grown warmer, laced with apologies wrapped in scripture. Alex felt the pull, forgive too soon, and risk the burn, hold too tight, and suffocate the growth. The evening peaked in laughter, stories bouncing off graffiti walls. Lena's tale of crashing a homophobic politician's fundraiser, dressed as a nun with a rainbow habit. But midway through dessert, Marcus slipped away to the balcony, face ashen. Alex followed, finding him gripping the railing, breath shallow. Just hit me. The what-ifs. Alex wrapped arms around him from behind, chin on shoulder. Then we what-if together. Chemo dates as movie nights. Bad hair days as costume parties. Marcus chuckled, wet and real. You're my plot twist, you know that. Work became Alex's anchor and curse. The gallery owner, a silver-haired dyke named Vivian with a voice like gravel and honey, pushed for a solo show. Your stuff screams now, she said over lunch at a vegan spot in Soho, reclaimed, raw? People need that. Alex nodded, but the blank canvas at home mocked him. Sketches piled. A father figure dissolving into pixels, a mother's hand reaching through fog. He poured John's letter into lines. Crinkled paper rendered in charcoal, words bleeding ink. One afternoon, inspiration struck during a subway ride to Brooklyn. A drag performer buskied at Union Square, lip-syncing to a ballad about lost loves, crowd enraptured. Alex pulled out his phone, filming fragments, later weaving them into a digital piece. Animated rejection morphing into embrace. Vivian loved it. Interactive. Bold. Get it in the show. But personal storms brewed. Rebecca called with news. Eleanor had a lucid day, remembering details. Alex's baby laugh. The blanket she'd sewn with stars. She wants to meet again. Properly. The properly hung heavy. Last time was tears and fragments. Alex agreed, booking tickets till upstate. Marcus opted out, citing work, but eyes betrayed worry. Go heal that part. I'll hold the fort. The drive with Rebecca was a revelation in itself. She drove a sensible sedan, radio tuned to classic rock, singing off-key to Springsteen. Dad, John. Tried. You know, she said at a rest stop, picking at a granola bar. After Mom, he dated a bit. Even a guy once. Whispered about it to me when drunk. Couldn't be like that boy of mine, he'd say. Think it was guilt, projecting. Alex stared at the vending machine, quarters forgotten. So his hate was his own cage. Eleanor's home was a Victorian charm, porch swing creaking in the breeze. She sat in the garden, knitting what looked like a scarf from mismatched yarns. Recognition lit her face slow, like dawn. Alexander. The name, full and formal, unlocked floods. She spoke of Cleveland winters, factory shifts, the terror of single motherhood in '03. Left you with him because I thought. Stability. But I watched from afar. Your school plays. That art fair. Alex's breath hitched. You knew me? She nodded, eyes misty. Always my star. They spent the day piecing memories, photos from her wallet, a locket with his infant curl. Rebecca mediated gently, her presence a buffer. By evening, as fireflies danced, Eleanor pressed the locket into his palm. Wear it. Remember you're wanted. The return trip was quieter, Alex clutching the metal like a talisman. Back home, Marcus waited with takeout Thai and a new playlist, upbeat soul to chase shadows. But tension simmered. Alex's distraction had left dishes piled, sketches strewn. Missed you, Marcus said, but undertone hinted more. Over pad CEW, it spilled. I get your processing, but I'm here too. Chemo starts next week. I need you present. Alex's fork paused. I am. This. It's rewriting me. Marcus's eyes softened. Then let me in the draft. The argument that followed was inevitable. Words like sparks, accusations of emotional hoarding, fears of abandonment. You're pulling away like he did. Marcus shouted, voice breaking. Alex recoiled, John's ghost in the room. And you're shutting down like I do. Silence crashed, then apologies, fumbling, fierce. They ended curled on the couch, Marcus's head in lap, Alex stroking hair. We're messy, but we're us. Lena's intervention came via group chat. Mandatory game night, no excuses. Jamal arrived with board games Twisted Queer, Monopoly with properties named after drag bars. Sophia read poetry between turns, verses on love's stubborn bloom. Laughter healed what words couldn't, reminding Alex of chosen roots. John's next visit was unannounced, a Sunday knock echoing through the hall. Frail in a cardigan, he stood with a pie from the county fair. Apple, lattice crust perfect. Heard about the show? Thought. Proud. Alex's throat closed. Marcus hovered in the kitchen, giving space. They sat at the table, pie untouched. John fumbled apologies. Wasn't right, what I did. The hate. It was mine. For failing you both. Rebecca had prepped him, therapy sessions via Zoom. Alex listened, walls cracking. You failed by fearing. But I'm trying too. The conversation stretched, halting then flowing. John admitting his own hidden affections, a college crush buried under duty. Thought if I stamped it out in you, it'd stay gone in me. Alex reached across, hand tentative on wrist. It doesn't work that way, but forgiveness might. As John left, Marcus emerged, brow arched. That wasn't easy. Alex shook head. No, but necessary. That night, they made love slow, rediscovering bodies like maps redrawn, gentle, affirming, a reclaiming. The solo show loomed, bloodlines unwritten, taking shape in Vivian's warehouse space. Alex installed pieces under floodlights. The animated rejection, Eleanor's locket cast in resin, John's letter framed beside a sketch of embrace. Interactive stations let viewers input family secrets, algorithms weaving digital tapestries. Critics previewed, buzzing, a queer odyssey of inheritance. Opening night crackled with energy, rainbow sashes, champagne flutes clinking. Lena emceed, voice booming intros. Rebecca brought Eleanor, wheeled in with care, her eyes wide at the art. My boy's stars, she murmured. John arrived last, suit pressed, standing awkward by the door. Marcus navigated him through, their handshake firm. The peak came mid-gallery. A donor, silver-tongued and suited, cornered Alex. Brilliant work. But the narrative, too personal? Market it broader. Alex stiffened, old insecurities flaring. Marcus intervened smooth. It's personal because it's true. That's the power. The donor backed off, but the exchange lingered, a reminder of commodified pain. Later, alone with Marcus on the fire escape, city lights sprawling below, Alex exhaled. Think we can keep this real? Marcus kissed Temple. As long as we keep choosing. Summer heat baked the city, turning sidewalks to griddles and tempers to tinder. Alex's show ran for weeks, lines snaking around the block, but success tasted bittersweet. Chemo sapped Marcus's vibrancy, hair shedding like autumn leaves, energy ebbing to couch naps. Alex adapted, smoothies blended with protein, walks paced to Marcus's slower stride. "You're my nurse now?" Marcus teased weakly one afternoon, as Alex fluffed pillows. "More like your psychic. Batman's got nothing on this." Lena's crew rotated support. Jamal cooking soul food that filled the apartment with garlic and grace. Sophia leading meditation circles in the living room, candles flickering against brick. Rebecca visited bi-weekly, bringing Eleanor's knitted throws and stories of John's progress. AA meetings, a church group for reparative hearts. Alex listened, thawing incrementally. A phone call with John evolved from stilted to shared laughs over bad puns, though trust was a slow thaw. But undercurrents stirred. Vivian pitched a book deal. Your story, illustrated. Memoir meets manifesto. Alex balked, exposed the raw edges for profit. Marcus urged caution. Write for you, not the market. Nights blurred into keystrokes. Alex drafting chapters on the laptop, words flowing like confessions. Chapter 1. The Bus, he titled the disowning, hook sharp as shattered glass. Eleanor's decline accelerated, lucid days rarer. Alex drove up monthly, Rebecca co-piloting, their sibling bond solidifying in diner stops and sing-alongs. One visit, she gifted him a box. Letters she'd written to him as a teen, never sent. Imagine what it'd be like, Big Brother. Inside, folded pages chronicled her life. First love with a girl in high school, hidden like contraband. Coming out to John, met with gruff, as long as you're happy. Alex read aloud in the car, voice thick. You carry me too. Back in Brooklyn, Marcus's treatments intensified, side effects a brutal tide. Nausea that bent him double, moods swinging wild. One evening, rage erupted, Marcus hurling a water glass, shards skittering like accusations. I hate this. Feeling like a burden. Alex knelt amid the mess, careful. You're my world. Burdens are for benches, not us. Cleanup was wordless, then tender, Marcus apologizing with kisses, Alex holding through tremors. The conflict crested during a rare good day. They escaped to Coney Island, boardwalk buzzing with families and freaks. Cotton candy stuck to fingers, Ferris wheel creaking ascent. At the top, city a distant shimmer, Marcus turned. Marry me. For real. Not just promises. Alex's heart stuttered, joy laced with fear. With all this? Marcus grinned fierce. Especially with this. Vows against the chaos. Planning was chaotic joy. Lena as officiant. Jamal on rings forged from recycled silver. Venue. Washington Square, full circle. Invites went out. Eleanor via proxy, John tentative yes. But whispers of doubt. Was it rushing or writing? John's arrival for the rehearsal dinner was the spark. He flew in, staying at a midtown hotel, nerves jangling like keys. Dinner at an Italian spot in Little Italy, candlelight softening edges. John raised a glass. To family. The ones we make. But talk turned to past sins. His role in Alex's silence about Jamie. The first love crushed under church heel. Should have listened, John admitted. Alex's fork stilled. You did more than that. You erased me. Silence stretched, John's face crumpling. Marcus shifted, hand under table. We're here now, Lena interjected, steering to desserts. The wedding dawned golden, arch of wildflowers in the park. Guests milled, queer elders with stories etched in wrinkles, trans youth with futures bright. Eleanor watched via live stream, her smile pixelated but radiant. John walked Alex down the aisle, arm linked loose, a nod to mending. Vows exchanged under autumn leaves. Marcus is steady. I choose you, twists and all. Alex is choked. You're my rewrite. Honeymoon was a staycation, rooftop picnics, movies marathons. But reality intruded swift. Marcus's skin showed progress, but fatigue lingered. Back to routine, Alex dove into the book, chapters unfurling. Jamie's ghost revisited, not as loss, but lesson in fleeting beauty. A twist arrived via email. Jamie, himself. Saw your exhibit. Blew me away. Coffee. Heart lurching. Alex showed Marcus. Old flame. Jealousy flickered, quelled quick. Go. Close that circle. They met at the coffee shop of first jobs. Jamie older, lines of city life around eyes. A teacher now, Out and partnered. You were brave. Leaving, Jamie said. I stayed hid. Regret that. Talk meandered. Mutual friends, Ohio ghosts. No sparks, just closure, a puzzle piece slotted gentle. Energized, Alex pitched the book to an agent, queer-focused press. Acceptance came with edits, deepen the psych layers, amplify joys. Revisions unearthed buried hurts. Eleanor's abandonment reframed as sacrifice, John's bigotry as fractured love. Marcus read drafts aloud, his voice a balm, edits sharpening like whetstones. Fall deepened, leaves carpeting streets. Lena announced pregnancy, hers and Sophia's via donor, a miracle in petri dishes. Joyous news, but envy pricked Alex. Family of blood, unscarred. He confessed over brunch. It's stupid. Lena squeezed hand. Nah, it's human. We'll make our own miracles. John's holiday visit was test and triumph. He bunked on their couch, chemo-free Marcus hosting with grace. Turkey thawed awkward. John praying pre-meal, eyes on Alex for cue. No flinch, progress. Stories flowed. John's war tales from Vietnam, dodged draft via seminary. Feared more than fought. Alex shared designs, John nodding approval. Like your ma's quilts. Patterns in pain. But climax brewed in quiet. Late night, John cornered Alex in kitchen. The test. Knew it years ago. Eleanor wrote. Chose to love you anyway. Tears tracked John's cheeks. Failed at showing it. Alex hugged then. First reel, bones creaking. Starting now counts. New year dawned with resolutions. Marcus's full remission scan. Eleanor's stable plateau. Alex's book deal finalized. Cover art a stylized DNA helix in rainbow gradients. Life, once fractured, flexed resilient. Yet undercurrents persisted. Vivian warned of backlash. Conservative outlets sniffing for scandal. Prep for trolls. First review dropped. Glowing, but comments festered. Glorifies sin. Alex armored with community, Marcus's hand in his at readings. Spring brought bloom. Eleanor's birthday party upstate. Family converged. John and Rebecca bantered. Eleanor lucid long enough for cake and dances. Alex sketched the scene, capturing joy's fragile frame. Through it, Marcus and Alex's love deepened. Date nights at jazz clubs, mornings lazy with coffee. We beat the plot, Marcus quipped one dawn. Alex smiled, and wrote our own. The book's release was a whirlwind. Launches in indie bookstores from Brooklyn to the Bay Area. Alex signed copies with a flourish that masked the tremor in his wrist. Fans queuing with stories mirroring his disownings, discoveries, defiant loves. One elder, a trans man in his 70s with a voice like smoked oak, gripped Alex's hand. You gave words to my silence. Thank you. Marcus hovered nearby, pride radiating, his hair regrowing in soft curls that Alex twirled absent-mindedly. Backlash hit harder than expected. A cable news segment twisted the memoir into propaganda, hosts sneering about broken families promoting deviance. Clips went viral, X threads erupting in vitriol. Lena rallied defenses, counterposts, op-eds, but Alex retreated, scrolling doom in the dim apartment. It's poison, he muttered to Marcus, screen glow harsh on face. Marcus snatched the phone, replacing with T. Their noise, not our narrative. John called, voice gruff over static. Saw the show. Garbage. But proud you spoke truth. Coming from him, it landed like absolution. Rebecca forwarded fan mail from Ohio. Church ladies moved to tears, a nephew coming out inspired by the pages. Threads wove wider, connecting disparate pains. Eleanor's health wavered, a fall landing her in rehab. Alex and Rebecca tag-teamed visits, driving shifts like relay. One evening, her room soft with lamplight, she clutched his hand. Don't let go, star boy. Even when dim. He promised, throat burning, later journaling fragments. Her scent of lavender and regret, the weight of unlived years. Marcus's remission held, but survivor's guilt nipped, friends at work facing worse odds. He channeled it into volunteering, mentoring queer youth at the center. Alex joined once, awkward among teens with eyes like his at 22, wide, wounded. One kid, non-binary and freshly out, echoed his bus story. Run or root? Alex asked. Both, the kid grinned. Lesson learned. Lena's pregnancy progressed, belly a drum of kicks. Baby shower at the loft, streamers and pastels, games silly with promise. Sophia beamed, hand on swell. Our little poet. Alex gifted a custom mobile, stars from Eleanor's blanket fabric, DNA twists in wire. Lena hugged fierce. Uncle Alex. Has ring. Twists emerged subtle. Jamie reappeared, not as flame but friend, inviting Alex to his wedding, a quiet affair in Central Park. Partners by, family's cool. Thought of you. Alex went, Marcus beside, toasting to second chances. Jamie's vows stirred memories. You taught me courage. Closure sweetened, no bitterness. Vivian pitched expansion, graphic novel adaptation. Alex illustrating his own words. Studio buzzed, collaborators a mix, queer artists with visions bold. Sketches evolved, panels of the bus rain, DNA spirals uncoiling to rainbows. Marcus posed for father figures, his strength a muse. But conflict crested domestic. John's planned visit for Pride clashed with Marcus's work trip, conference in Chicago. Go, Alex urged John. March with us. John balked. Crowds. Not my scene. Push-pull ensued. Phone calls tense. It's family, Alex pressed. Your chance. John relented, but arrival was fraught. Hotel mix-up, nerves raw. Pride weekend exploded in color. Floats thundering down the avenue, confetti raining. John marched halting, cane tapping rhythm, Alex arm in arm. Chants rose. Love is love. John murmuring along. At an after-party in the village, drag show pulsing, he confessed over gin, scared. But seeing you. Free. Wish I'd let you sooner. Alex clinked glasses. Better late. Eleanor's rally brought hope. A therapy breakthrough, words clearer. Family weekend upstate. Barbecue with John's famous pie, Rebecca's kids tumbling grass. Laughter echoed, a harmony hard won. Eleanor pulled Alex aside. Your book's my bedtime. Proud. He read a chapter, voice steady, her nods approval. Post-Pride glow faded into routine, but undercurrents stirred. A letter arrived, anonymous postmark Cleveland. New Eleanor. Your real father, alive. Ask her. Heart slamming. Alex pocketed it, doubt festering. Confront or bury. Marcus found it rifling laundry. Another bomb. Face pale, Alex nodded. What if it's true? They drove to Eleanor together, Marcus's hand anchor. She confirmed, eyes distant, brief. Before John. Artist wandered off. Name, Theo Vance. Dead end. No, Rebecca Doug, finding obit. Past 5 years prior, but son, half-brother unknown. The search ignited frenzy, public records, social media ghosts. Hit, Lucas Vance, 35, photographer in Seattle. Profile pic, salt and pepper beard, camera slung. Message sent tentative, think we share blood. Reply, stunned emoji, then call. Lucas's voice was gravel warm. Dad mentioned a fling, kid he left. You. Coffee in neutral, Portland layover. Alex flew, nerves electric. Marcus's call me talisman. Lucas waited at airport, bear hug immediate. Brother. Over brews in a hipster cafe, stories poured. Theo's bohemian life, easels and wanderlust. He'd love your art, Lucas said, showing photos, portraits soul deep. Bond snapped instant. Hikes in Cascades, darkroom sessions where Alex posed, light etching truths. Lucas's partner, Kai, a quiet chef, hosted dinners, vegan twists on comfort. Family's choice, Kai said, echoing Marcus. Alex confessed the letter. Stirred the pot. Lucas laughed. Pots need stirring. Return broad integration, video calls with Lucas, Theo's paintings shipped east. John's reaction mixed, another? But softened to curiosity. Tell me about him. Book tour ramped, cities blurring. San Francisco readings with queer-lit stars, Boston panels on identity. Fans shared scars. Alex absorbed, heavier but whole. One night, post-event, hotel bar solitude shattered by a face. High school bully, now apologetic dad. Saw your book. My boy's gay. Learning late. Handshake bridged chasms. Home, Marcus's promotion. Head counselor, warranted celebration. Dinner cruise on the Hudson, Lena's bump dancing to jazz. Toasts to futures. To plots we plot ourselves. Eleanor's autumn wane brought vigil. Alex read from the book, chapters on mothers lost and found. She slipped quiet, hand in his, smile lingering. Funeral small, upstate chapel with rainbow stole on casket. Eulogy by Alex. She gave stars. We carry them. Grief-crested waves, but family buoyed. John's letter of solace. Lucas flying in for hugs. Marcus held through nights raw. She chose love. We honor that. Winter whispered renewal. Snow blanketing brownstones. Holidays hybrid. John's tree with Rebecca's ornaments. Lucas via Zoom toasting eggnog. Alex's graphic novel deal sealed. Panels popping with color. Through frost, love's core held. Marcus and Alex, ringed and rooted, facing whatever helix next. Grief for Eleanor settled like frost, beautiful in retreat, but chilling the bones. Alex channeled it into the graphic novel, panels blooming dark then light, her silhouette fading to constellations, Theo's brushstrokes echoing in margins. Lucas contributed scans of old photos, Theo's eyes, green like Alex's, staring from yellowed prints. He'd say, "Art's the blood we choose." Lucas shared during a late-night call, Kai snoring softly beside. John's transformation accelerated, perhaps Eleanor's passing a mirror to his own fragility. He started a blog, anonymous at first, a father's reckoning, posts wrestling bigotry's roots. Alex read drafts, edits gentle, less sermon, more soul. John's reply, learning. Visits increased, flights funded by book royalties, conversations deepening over diner pie. Missed your fire, John admitted once, eyes wet. Lit none in me young. Marcus's health stabilized, energy rebounding in runs along the promenade. He and Alex joined a couples group, queer survivors swapping war stories. Sessions unearthed layers, Marcus's fear of recurrence mirroring Alex's of rejection. We're scarred symphonies, the facilitator quipped. Laughter followed, cathartic. Lena birthed a daughter, Mira, dark curls, cries fierce. Hospital rooms swelled with aunt-uncles. Alex cradling tiny form, Marcus cooing verses. Our circle expands, Lena whispered, exhausted bliss. Godparent duties beckoned, a vow of village. The graphic novel's preview dropped online, buzz electric. Forums dissected twists, DNA as metaphor for chosen kin, genius. But trolls lurked, dredging John's past sermons. A podcast invited Alex, confrontational host probing victimhood. He countered calm, not victim. Victor. Hates the chain, love snaps it. Clip trended, supporters surging. Twist via Rebecca, John's health scare, heart flutter, hospital overnight. Stubborn ass won't rest, she vented. Alex flew solo, Marcus covering work. Hospital room sterile, John pale but pugnacious. Just a blip. Talk turned raw. Regrets unboxed. John's college crush named at last. Tom. Lost to AIDS silence. Hid to fit. Hurt you to hide. Alex forgave verbal. Heart catching up. Fit's overrated. Be you. Recovery bonded. John bunking in Brooklyn. Couch surf with grumbles. Marcus cooked. Soul food diplomacy. John devouring collards. Praising. Evenings. 3 on the fire escape. Stars above. Stories below. Think Theo'd like you. Alex teased John. Gruff laugh. Beard too. Lucas visited spring. Kai in tow. Seattle contingent crashing the walk-up. City tour queer-flavored. Stonewall ghosts. Rooftop bars with skyline toasts. Kai's quiet wisdom grounded. Family's recipe. Stir often. Dinners fused coasts. Kai's tempeh tacos. John's pie for dessert. Laughter echoed. A chorus mending. Book tour finale in Ohio. Homecoming loaded. Venue. Community center near Old Church. Irony thick. Crowd mixed. Supporters rainbowed. Skeptics lurking. John introduced. Voice steady. My son's story. My shame his strength. Reading hooked. Bus rain vivid. DNA reveal gasp-worthy. Q&A delved. A teen asking, how forgive? Alex, one step. Then another. Post-event, church pastor approached. Old family friend. Eyes kind. Your dad's changed us. Sermons on grace now. Validation washed. Bittersweet. Summer heat peaked with wedding anniversary. Marcus and Alex escaping to the Catskills. Cabin wood smoke and lake swims. No phones, just presence. Hikes hand in hand. Fireside truths. You're my constant. Marcus said, rings glinting firelight. Alex, plot anchor. Conflict simmered subtle. Vivian pushing sequel. Deeper dives, more drama. Alex resisted. Story's mine, not serial. Tensions flared in meetings, her push clashing his boundaries. Marcus mediated. Art's yours. Guard it. Eleanor's belongings sorted. Rebecca shipping boxes, quilts, letters, a sketchbook Alex never knew. Pages fluttered. Crude drawings of a boy, labeled Maya. Tears blurred ink, legacy tangible. John's blog went public, reckoning dad, gaining followers, reparative tales from pulpits to porches. Alex guested, dialogue electric. Father-son unpacking crates of conditional love. Listeners messaged, healed my rift. Lena's Mira christened secular. Park picnic, vows to nurture free. Alex held God Uncle oath. Stars for her too. Joy infectious, circle tight. Autumn brought Lucas's exhibit, Theo's Legacy Show in Manhattan. Alex curated a panel, his graphics mingling oils. Opening night throng, John toasting, to absent fathers present in art. Emotional peak, Lucas unveiling portrait of Eleanor, from Theo's stories, eyes alive. Through it, Marcus and Alex's rhythm held. Therapy check-ins, date nights jazz-infused. One evening, post-argument over tour stress. Words sharp, regrets swift. Marcus knelt. Renew? Here now. Alex laughed through tears. Yes. Always. Holidays hybrid grand. Ohio leg with John and Rebecca. Kids sledding. Brooklyn bash with Lena's brood. Lucas zooming carols. Pie and lax mingled. Traditions twisted new. New year. Alex sketched future panels. Horizons open. Figures linked. Life's helix spun on. Twists tamed. Love the thread. Winter's grip loosened to tentative thaws, but Alex's world tilted anew with an unexpected echo from the past. A manila envelope arrived, postmarked faded, contents spilling like forgotten confetti, faded Polaroids of a younger John, arm around a laughing boy, Jamie, mid-kiss under bleachers. Note clipped, found in attic. Truth's layers. Love art. Rebecca's doing, closure's gift. Alex stared, memories flooding. Jamie's scent of fresh-cut grass, the terror of discovery. He showed Marcus over breakfast, bagel steaming. Ghosts don't haunt if named. Marcus nodded, thumb tracing photo edge. Burn or frame? They framed, a corner talisman, past honored, not haunted. The graphic novel launched to acclaim. New York Times nod. A visual elegy for fractured blood. Signings swelled, Alex's voice steadier, stories shared like communal fires. One fan, a burly dad with rainbow pin, confessed, read to my son. We're talking now. Ripples spread, John's blog cross-pollinating, reparative dialogues blooming online. Eleanor's quilt became heirloom, stitched into Myra's crib, stars warding dreams. Lena thrived in motherhood, poetry sharper with sleep deprivation's edge. Write the mess, she advised Alex's sequel qualms. Vivian relented, your pace. Authenticity sells. John's health held, but vulnerability surfaced, a fall, hip replacement looming. Alex orchestrated care, Rebecca local, but Brooklyn visits for morale. Post-op, John hobbled in. Kane traded for Walker, humor intact. Cyborg now. Rehab sessions turned confessional, wore flashbacks, Theo's shadow in what-ifs. If I'd met him. Lighter load. Alex, loads shape us. Yours made mine. Lucas and Kai relocated hints. New York pull, gallery scouts. Closer to the helix, Lucas joked. Temporary sublet in Queens, darkroom jury-rigged. Joint exhibit brewed. Vance Harlan collab. Themes inherited visions. Prep sessions electric. Alex's digits meeting oils, narratives intertwining. Marcus's center expanded. Youth program grant. Alex designing murals. Walls alive with chosen families. DNA vines blooming diverse. Paint-splattered days bonded them deeper, laughter amid drips. Our mark, Marcus said, roller pausing. Climax brewed in subtlety. Anonymous thread online, exposing lies in your truth. Panic spiked, Alex's sleep fracturing. Marcus traced sender, disgruntled ex-churchgoer, John's old flock. Confrontation via call, moderated by lawyer friend. Truth prevailed. No dirt, just desperation for attention. Block and breathe. Healing followed. Family summit. John leading prayer reimagined. Grace for all. No conditions. Words landed, chains dissolving. Spring erupted, cherry blossoms confetti. Myra's first steps at park picnic, cheers chorus. Lucas captured, lens clicking joy. John's full recovery toasted. Pie feast, recipes swapped. Theo's apple. Alex teased. John, with twists. Graphic novel tour west. Seattle homecoming with Lucas. Theo's haunts revisited. Fans queer and kin, stories echoing. One night, bar storytelling, Alex wove live. Bus to now, hooks gripping. Applause thundered, belonging bone deep. Summer solstice wedding for Jamal, non-binary splendor, vows poetic. Alex best person, toast, loves the ultimate twist. Dance floor swirled, Marcus pulling him close. Our sequel's best. Eleanor's memorial garden planted, upstate plot, perennials nodding. Dedication, families gathered, John scattering seeds. She grows still. Fall hues painted city gold. Sequel outline sketched. Forward arcs, Myra's cameos, John's redemption chapters. Vivian greenlit. Heart, not haste. Holidays crescendo, multi-city hop. Ohio kin, Brooklyn chosen, Seattle virtual. Tables groaned abundance, toasts to endurance. New Year Eve, rooftop with Marcus. Fireworks blooming, hands linked. From Disowned to this, Alex murmured. Marcus, our truth, revealed. Years folded forward. Mira toddling verses, John's blog bookbound, Lucas's gallery thriving. Alex's art evolved. Installations interactive, healing spaces. Marcus-led expansions, youth thriving. Through helix turns, love anchored. Chosen, blood deep, unbreakable. The sun, once cast out, built not just life, but legacy, one resilient thread at a time. In quiet moments, Alex sketched stars, Eleanor's gift, Theo's echo, John's hard-won light. The city pulsed below, witness to rewrite. And in that pulse, family, messy, mighty, forever.